You call Mum, please. She just rang me. That's exactly. I was a little bit delayed on ending that music there, so I was just quite enjoying the holding of that. I think it's a Usain Bolt thing, isn't it? That one where he does that. Yeah. What is this? What's going on here?
Is that some spillage?
Possibly. I don't know.
Someone shot you.
Well, to be fair, I did steal this from the local skip, so there could be anything inside of it. Welcome back to another episode of the Deductionist podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all feeling safe and rested and well and COVID free, and there is a puppy for stroking within easy reach. Good evening, Miss Riffraff. Good evening. I hope you're keeping well. How are you, sir? How are you? We haven't actually had the chance to do our kind of pre-stream conversation. It's been a case of right, he's here. Let's get on with it.
I'm well, though, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm tired. I won't lie to you. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my shirt here, but like because when I feel it feels dry. It feels dry, so I don't know. Maybe
like, shirts are just expecting you to always sweat now, so they're just already
just doing it on command.
Come on. That's how hardcore you are when you do workouts. You don't have even sweat for your stuff to get covered in sweat.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Why not? That's as a tall, very hairy person, sweating is what I could probably do professionally.
But of course, in that.
Yeah, run a professional level sweating. God, that was gross. This may be the worst opening to an episode that we've ever done.
Get your sweat certificate.
Yeah. Do you want to see my new tattoo?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know how to show it. So you got a pipe going up here, and then this way around, and this way, and then this way, and then up into my little jewel up here. It's giving me kind of a genie in the lamp vibes.
I like it
with all of the blue. It comes up. It's the blue carbuncle from my. That's precisely what I am. I'm going to put that on my business card now, moving forwards. Ben Cardle, the anti-Prince Andrew.
You couldn't be more perfect if you were the anti-Prince Andrew. You should be in line for the throne.
Yeah, it's like, so what am I then in full if I'm the anti-Prince Andrew? I'm not royal, I do sweat, and I'm sexually attracted to pensioners? Is that how that works, being the complete opposite?
Right,
I don't know.
toy boy rather than have a toy boy.
Yeah, maybe.
Or a literal boy, you know.
This is new territory for me, so I'm not exactly sure. To be honest. Exactly. Was that in the Pizza Express, or was that with the perspiration? Anyway, so but the tattoo, it's a pipe, a golden smoke coming up to a release. I don't know how to demonstrate it. Coming up to a release of the Blue Carbuncle, which is from the Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle, my favourite Sherlock Holmes story. I did try and do the breakdown of the hat deduction from the Jeremy Brett episode for the channel. But YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, decided, no, that's a copyright strike. You can't post that.
YouTube. Just when you
have
something cool to present and
get
rid of it.
As I scroll through the myriad of copied trailers and leaks and all of this kind of stuff, I'm like,
everything that is, effectively stealing billion-dollar franchises, but you do that. God forbid. Can't be. It's just no. Think on.
I shall give you a darn good finger shaking, which sounds euphemistic now I've said it.
Remember your Andrew, Prince Andrew. Stop saying things like that.
No, I'd need to be saying something like that whilst I had CBeebies on in the background if I was Prince Andrew. Too far? No? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Like I'm going to push the boundary any further. No, that was pretty far. So let's get this part out of the way pretty quickly. No, not pretty quickly. Let's discuss it pretty rapidly. For those that what?
I say let's do the episode. Don't go through quickly. It's got to be the length.
Yeah, done. So 100th episode. Worst apologies ever. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Done. Finished.
So these are our minutes.
We don't record minutes. What are you talking about? We had an official meeting about where we're going with the Deductionist season 3 a few days ago, and that may have been the most formal thing that we have ever done.
We've never got together and actually planned things. We've just sort of said about planning things, and the plan is to plan things usually. This time, plan something. I don't know how this came about.
I like when we call back to some of the filming. It was like, let's go play rock paper scissors with two people at the same time. All right, how? I don't know. Let's just go see what happens. Like I come across on my Facebook memories when we got a couple of shots for I think it was episode 2 of the first series. And it'd be great if we could get like a follow-on by the car wheel, by the tire as we're driving past. Are we going to get that? I don't know. Maybe I'll sellotape a GoPro to a stick. Okay, let's do that. And it worked. It worked.
I mean, we pulled off quite some of our best things just off the cuff, haven't we? We've just sort of like in the moment. I think that's how we do our best. In the moment kind of stuff. And I'm sure as much as we planned for season 3 and other projects, it's still going to be in the moment, and it's still going to be one of those things where it's like, I think we lean into it. We just embrace it.
I think we just need Samuel L. Jackson to go, there was an idea. And leave it at that. There was an idea. Then the guys chose to ignore the idea, get too much coffee inside them, and film something else. Like I had a chuckle to myself the other day because I actually rewatched episode 4, the one where we went to the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of chuckling to myself at like two guys that have wandered in, going for a swim, and then they grab like a weight plate, a book, a couple of cameras, a Rubik's Cube.
What are they doing?
What is happening right now? I love it. It's great.
Staff of the Quality Hotel just looking through it like, oh shit, I don't think we should have let this happen.
No. Should we throw them out? Is that okay? They've been under the water for a long time now.
We broke a lot of rules that day. It was mighty fun. We did.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we got some shots. Like we kind of resorted to the fact, like I think the GoPro case had broken or was leaking, or for the underwater stuff. Yeah, so we were holding it together, going, the GoPro might die. I don't know. It might not. It might not. I don't know.
All the things that fucked up that day, the one thing that remained intact was a paper novel that you took underwater that came out dirty as fuck. Yeah, somehow a brand new GoPro breaks.
Done.
What?
And that, like, I got an underwater case for the phone, so like we could try and get at least something on a half decent camera, but from under the water. Yeah. I remember the moment where we were going, is this going to work? I can see air bubbles. Oh, who cares? Bosh! Straight in.
Well, it's either going to break or it's not.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, guys, we initially, when the podcast was birthed, it was just me talking to an iPad, and then I interviewed a couple of other people, like through Periscope. I think it was. Whatever happened to Periscope? Jesus, that crashed and burned, didn't it?
Kind of like Vine.
Yeah. Sorry, Periscope, if you're watching. They're not watching.
They're still very much up and active, apparently, but
they're not watching. I get it on my door in a minute, Mr. Cardle. So when we started that, I think there was maybe 4-5 episodes that was done, and then I went, this is too much. I can't do it because I don't know how to do all of this stuff from a simple iPad. I've got too much other things going on, and then it stopped. Cut to a little over a year ago. Me and Adam are like, let's bring it back, and we start dropping these things. And next week is our 100th episode of the me of like just when, like hang on, I gotta do it. Wait a sec, I gotta do it.
Yes,
yes,
chicken dinner. Did we not celebrate its birthday? Was it around about a year ago? When was its birthday?
That was I think that was. I think we did the 52. We did the 52 like 1 year special a while back, but like this one coming up is
this is the 100th episode. Say that again! Oh my god!
Moriarty demanded the 100. Say it again.
Say it again. Oh, I have it. October 2nd.
So
you got it
we're actually going to stream it. We're going to stream it, so you can join in. It was on this Wednesday coming, I think.
Yeah.
This Wednesday. So a little bit of a change to the normal, but we're gonna stream it on Wednesday. I'm not going to tell you exactly why it will be streamed differently. Suffice it to say.
And you will laugh.
Yeah, when we had the idea for it, it was very much a case of, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, it was one of those conversations. Have you got any experience in this? I've got a little experience in this. What about you? I haven't got any experience in this. So we're gonna do. I don't know.
Well, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I usually do not know. We'll just see. We'll see what it looks like.
That's the thing. So
what will happen? Things will be said. Feelings will be heard. Emotion shall be had.
Yeah, but 100 episodes as well. Good evening to Craig. And good evening to Nikki as well.
Hi, how you doing?
Welcome. In case you missed it, we'll announce it again as you're just here. We've got the 100th episode special that we are streaming next Wednesday, which will be in 6 days' time. And believe me, when I say this may be the most ambitious thing that we've ever tried on the podcast, I think that would be fair.
It's going to be a shocker, and more so for us in terms of what's going on within the podcast itself. I'm kind of, when you've got that giggly kind of excitement of like, this could bring me screaming like a little child.
Yeah.
In front of all our viewers. God, imagine if we get through that alone. Imagine if that brought in the biggest views. Then we just have to do it every episode. Statistically, if we were going to follow trend. It feels like a lot more, probably because of the grief I've had from you, Per. That's fair.
Oh, Craig, you love it. Shut up.
It's a glutton for punishment.
So yeah, next week it's gonna be a special recording, It will go out at the normal kind of date and time on the Fridays, but if you want to join in this kind of a setting, then by all means you would be more than welcome on Wednesday at our usual time to jump in. We're going to try and how do I say this without giving anything away? We're going to try and make sure our collective mindsets are as strong as they would need to be in order to put together a successful stream. That didn't give anything away, right?
Yeah. I think we're putting ourselves in certain conditions that wouldn't necessarily allow us to be as well. I'm very incoherent anyway, but it would challenge our coherency and kind of our demeanor within a podcast. Usually, I think we're sort of torturing ourselves really more than anything.
This could be mental torture. It could be physical torture. We could have just set up a mass screening of Justin Bieber live in concert. That
Christ, you sick. Don't. I'm sorry you had to hear that, everyone. Apology. Jesus, man. There are human beings in this group.
Bless me, Dawkins, for I have sinned. It's been like 20 minutes since my last confession.
He just boasts about the wrong things he's done. Getting whacked while memorising and host. Oh, don't put these ideas in his head. What are you doing?
Okay, so right, as it's been brought up, let's address it. The I memorize stuff was a way to kind of test the memory skills, but in a potentially fun, somewhat unorthodox kind of way, right? Like who wants to eat the second world's hottest chili? Who wants to stay awake for 2 days? Who wants to do any of that? Nobody wants to. So there was options. Oh, here we go. Craig says, "Sorry, Adam, you getting waxed, not Ben. I'd be too cold afterwards."
Showing mercy in the same sentence. A strange thing there. It balances out.
Yeah, I mean, why not? So suffice it to say, the waxing. I can't speak for Adam, but that is something that I will never do. If you've seen 40-year-old Virgin, you know how painful that can be for a hairy person, and I am a hairy person.
I I would say now, for I Memorise, that should definitely go ahead. I'm sure Maddie would be more than up for doing. She, being medically trained as she is, she knows when, obviously, you've got to stop if you're losing too much blood.
Yeah.
I know you're an
But, like, I don't want to be filmed hurling that much abuse at my wife. Because if she's waxing me, I'm going to be verbally abusive. I mean, I'll tell you that now. That's what's going to happen.
Even more funny.
Doing the Kelly Clarkson.
I might propose this to her when we.
You're proposing to my wife?
She keeps saying no, so I wouldn't worry about it. But I'm saying
cool.
This weekend we're meeting up, so I might on the sly just put that little idea forward.
She'd be game. She'd be game.
I know. That'd be 2 against 1 and the rest of the internet. All we want. You know you do it.
Yeah, but the way I can make sure that nobody watches it, so I don't have to do it, is if it turns into like a back sack and crack waxing.
Like your head and your legs stuck out either end of a sheet.
Like up in the stirrups.
Oh, it's brutal.
So we may have digressed slightly, but that is never happening.
That means it's happening. It means it's
happening. I will fight, bite, kick, punch, whinge, cry, run, cower, moan, trip, shout, whatever other adjectives I can think of, and the synonyms for said adjectives, they are in there as well.
So basically, this has to happen when you're asleep, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
An added effect to the episode.
That has to happen when I'm asleep. But knowing me, do you know that me sleeping is going to happen? No.
I imagine I'll just be like sneaking into your room at night time, setting up the camera, put the night vision on, and then I look at the bed and realise that the covers, which once contained a human man, are slowly deflating because it no longer has anyone in them. Followed by something crawling on the ceiling and you dropping down.
Like that cutaway scene from Family Guy with the guy kind of rowing up the creek. He comes to Kermit the Frog and he asks Kermit the Frog where something is. He breaks out a shotgun and goes, "Yeah, it's back the way you came." Adam walks in.
I was just I forgot my underwear. Goodbye.
Yeah, Craig, I've just realised Ben trains me. Forget the waxing. Apologies, Ben. You fucking goddamn right. There was I went round to Craig's a while back now, with another one of our mutual friends, and Craig hadn't done the homework for our training session at the time. So I got him in a headlock and started giving me a right good knuckle sandwich. Yeah, I mean that's what the crazy kids are calling the knuckle sandwich. Like, obviously we couldn't film it, so it was one of those kinds of things. Now, on to the main event. Earlier on in the week, the news broke that Adam Levine, lead singer of Maroon 5. Has been embroiled in some kind of fiasco, some kind of saga, where he has been forced to apologise, which, as a sentence, immediately implies inauthenticity. Has been forced to apologise.
Takes away the apology out of the apology. Would it not?
Right. That's like stabbing someone and blaming them from sharpening your knife. Like it doesn't really work. It's axiomatically wrong. Exactly. So a couple of my friends actually sent me this because, in their words, collectively from Levine, and the TikTok lady. I've got the videos prepared. In his words, they're the worst apologies he's ever seen.
Oh, Lord.
The worst apologies he's ever seen. Yeah. So the news as I'm aware of it at this stage, Adam Levine has a long-term wife of many years. She's a supermodel, I think. Not that that matters, but that's something I know. They've been together for a while, and apparently this TikTok lady put some kind of message out saying that she had an affair with Adam Levine and showing all kinds of private messages. Obviously, the kind of media tornado developed on the back of it, and he came forward to make his apology after the fact. Right?
All right.
Which, to me, we're going to watch them in a second, but that, just as a news bite, screams the Will Smith thing all over again. Being forced into making the single most disingenuous display you can ever see. And since we brought it up on the podcast that time, I have watched it since. I have. And it's laughable. It is laughable. It's laughable. So, I'm genuinely looking forward to this. The only difference in terms of the apologies is the TikTok lady is a video. Obviously, it's a TikTok. Yeah. And his is something that he posted to his Instagram, but it was typed out and screenshotted, and he posted it up there, or it was typed out. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you can type on an Instagram story. I'm old as fuck. Like, what do I know how that works? I should qualify. I'm not actually old as fuck. I just don't care how it works. I just don't care. So it is what it is. It is what it is. What do I give a shit about posting on Instagram stories? What do I have to say? Look, I waxed my nipple off.
Told you.
Who cares? Who cares about that? I nearly said something else that would relate to the 100th episode, but I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after. That wasn't meant to be a ooh, like when somebody posts on Facebook. Oh, I'm in so much pain. Oh, I've got something going on that I can't tell everyone. Oh, what's up, hon? Yeah, I can't talk. Oh, fuck off. That wasn't meant to be one of those kinds of things. That just occurred to me as I was saying it. Then I realised that I couldn't say it out loud. We're in a stream. You don't come for the formalities. You come for the bad jokes and the information regarding non-verbals. Right. Here we go. So I can do that.
Oh, wow.
And then I go full screen. So apparently it's this one here. That is the video. Now, what we should be doing already at this stage is placing the magical C word, context. I know English people all over England went into the C word that rhymes with shunt, but it isn't that one. It isn't that one. Miss Riffraff puts it better. Why did I stop from saying the actual channel name? I went Miss Riffraff, well, that's probably why. Admiral Riffraff. That'd be terrible for Jonathan Ross to say. Admiral Riffraff, bad jokes, toilet humour, and info. What could be better? Right? I completely agree. I completely agree. The only time I'm putting a formal shirt on and pretending like I'm an affluent, erudite individual is when I'm forced to for meetings and work. When we're streaming, that's not the case. So context is what we should be placing onto this right from the get-go, right? So we can lay the context initially in terms of a TikTok lady who, looking at this, clearly makes her living by either being some kind of a model or it's based on looks.
Yeah, virtually every picture kind of encases the same sort of thing. Like usually a varied TikTok, which
See, this one, yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. So what we can also get as well in terms of the rate of interest is, by the way, rate of interest is a term that I use in terms of modifying patterns. When you look at these kinds of things, you're looking at the patterns of how much a video is watched or how much a video is enjoyed. That's what on the TikTok owner's account. That's what gives you the back end in terms of analytics and this kind of thing. But for what we can view as the outsiders, are monitoring, like her videos with her dog here. Have gotten the least amount of views compared to others. There's a 78, but I presume the further down it's growing in popularity. So you got to account for that as well. So which would go on?
I feel like in some of these videos or these stills, the background is just changing, not her.
Yeah, it could be, but you look at the number and it fast changes from the dog back to her as well. So this is somebody that's aware of what people are interested in, what they're watching, what they're viewing, and the like. So what I mean is, look at 168,000 compared to something that starts off as a booty shot of 353 back here. So you're modifying patterns. More women, more scantily clad, 525, 1.2 million this way, and then it kind of comes up to the 22.9 million here, right? So there's obviously a kind of awareness that goes on in terms of a pattern re-emergence. Is that to say that is motivation for somebody to reveal that kind of information to boost their career? No. It's a consideration at this stage. It's a consideration because we've not watched the video. All we're dealing with is the fact that somebody makes their, I presume, living, 463,000 followers, clearly a model of some sorts in some form. I would imagine that modeling takes many forms for specific things and whatnot. So that's how you make your looks. Where do your motivations lie in that sense? Do you need to be current? Do you need to be considered by the right people interesting or in this kind of thing? And how do you play the requisite PR game?
Yeah,
that should be a consideration given the kind of people that we're dealing with, who essentially make more money by being booked by more people because they are currently popular. They are currently in. It's a high school thing all over again, right?
Yeah.
So, what was that, mate?
I say it never went away.
Oh God, yeah. It's the Bowling for Soup song 1985 all over again. Also a great song, right? Great song. So let's have a look. This may present some teething problems, mostly because I have never used TikTok on a computer before at all. So it could work. It could mean that we're just going to have to think on our feet. But let's have a look.
I'm just going to recommend it.
Okay, here we go. So it's clearly working. The sound came through. We got some lovely comments as well. For what I do in these kinds of scenarios, could not care less about the comments.
Yeah.
Mostly because
it's all biased, isn't it?
That's the thing, mate. Its emotional qualities becoming antagonistic to clear reasoning in this scenario. When you're dealing with a scandal, and this lass is essentially the mistress in the scenario, at Sumner Straw. I don't know. That lady. So what we could do here at the minute, right, is we could make an inductively reasoned observation, right? The top comment, it's no secret he's been married for a decade. The only victim here is his wife and children. So, this is an example of a very thin idea because there's very little information to go on. But you back it up with, "No, I don't buy it. She's playing the victim. He wanted to name the baby after you. Oh dear. I was young. It was last year." So there's a lot of people picking up. I say a lot of. There's 3 people picking up on qualitatively made comments regarding the reason. So she's going to be trying to justify her own position. There's going to be a lot of, "Oh, woe is me. I was so hard done to. I was this. I was that. I was the other. I was led astray by the older man," and whatnot, because married for a decade, she's visually very young. Compared to somebody who's married for a decade and having kids, and I've seen Adam Levine's face. He's older than her, right? Despite how medically modified her face is, at this stage. What was that, mate?
What do you make of the statement she's put under? I don't know how TikTok works, whether that's a statement or the title of the video. Embarrassed of a man with a sort of lack of remorse and respect. Like, as a summary, I'm assuming, I'll call it a summary for this video. What do you make of that in terms of how it presents itself? Because she's written that, obviously. So
yeah, of course.
What does that say about her?
What it says is she's jumping straight towards excuses. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Like, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I was misled. I was manipulated. I was influenced. I was whatever other synonym you want to use for that type of scenario. You're trying to absolve yourself of any responsibility in the scenario. Whereas, again, if you look at the context on a wider scale, right? Somebody who is as actively engaged in social media as she clearly is, 463,000 followers. That just that doesn't happen overnight, right? That happens with a lot of work. Yeah. Let me rephrase: with a lot of work. A lot of time. That's fair. A lot of time. So, for somebody within that field to know of. Again, Maroon 5 and being as current, and they're very popular within the popular music scene and whatnot. And Adam Levine is often kind of held high as this visually beautiful man, and he's got some terrible tattoos. I've used him as a tattoo study in some of my classes, and yeah, they're just the worst. They're really bad. They're really bad. That's a side note. So, if you're going to absolve yourself of responsibility and claim you are that unaware of what's happening, that's first question right there in the get-go. To not know that Adam Levine is in a relationship or is married or whatever it is, given that he is this mega famous guy within her scene. Because he does modelling as well, you know. He was brought into American Horror Story because he was a beautiful boy. I mean, I say like he's died, you know, like that was a motivation.
I don't follow that kind of thing with what he's. I've heard their music, like maybe one or two tracks. I don't necessarily follow him and that kind of or hear much about it. Maybe just in an MSN interview or something like that. But even then, I rarely ever hear from him. So it's surprising to me that she would be making out that she would not know this when I actually know that he's married.
Exactly. So this tells us where your motivations lie in here, but mostly in here.
Yeah.
Right? So you can question whether she's doing it to elevate her status a little more. Because to claim ignorance of that degree is going to bring more interest and curiosity in that particular situation. I'll admit this as well. Songs About Jane, which was Maroon 5's first album. That's my guilty pleasure album.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah. This is when I need the this is when I need the extender sound effect.
That's the next video that just pops up now.
So yeah, songs about Jane. Songs about Jane is an album I really enjoyed.
Say that again.
I'm sorry, it was an album I really enjoyed, Moriarty. I'm sorry, it was an album I really enjoyed.
Say that again.
I'm sorry, I did. I enjoyed it. It was an album that I really enjoyed.
Did it? You angered Moriarty.
I did. But something that I would say to the follow up albums after the fact would be.
Suck it.
So let's get into exactly what's going on. We have an understanding of where she is at in here, and it's a fundamental understanding because we've not watched any of the videos yet. All we're doing is we're information mining at this stage. So when we see what's presented within her speech and her movements and her non-verbal communication, that will allow us to either, as my mate Jim says, validate, dismiss, or clarify some of the observations that we've made thus far. Right? So, I mean, just as a side note, again, there was body language experts called in to read the royal family during the funeral, and they are slating Meghan and Harry over things like lip compressions and distance between each other, and like. I'm like, I just want to grab them and shake them vociferously by their necks. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Not even baseline reading. Is it just sort of like YouTube quick tutorial on people reading?
You got it, mate. You got it. That's BuzzFeed That's BuzzFeed bullshit 101.
Yeah.
Because that's an unheard of context.
Yeah.
Who has to go to a funeral where you grieve legitimately for a loved one, a family member, and have billions of people scrutinizing every move?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
It's just not a natural environment, is it?
Exactly.
You know, you've got TV as well. You've got all these other factors in. You know, all the stuff that's going on. There could be 1,000,001 things happening to your body, face,
You got it, man.
Situation and environmental placement.
You got it. You got it. Miss Riff Raff as well. The body language of the funeral was embarrassing. The hatred for Meghan overwhelmed what was observable. 100%. And the article as well. I've read the article. I need a soundbite of Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory to go, hokum. It's hokum. You are talking nonsense. So anyway, to the matter at hand, let's have a look at what's happening. So it's only 1 minute and 32 seconds long.
I've retaken this like 10 times now.
Oh, well, that wasn't 1 minute and 32 seconds long at all. Let's try that again.
I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off because I've retaken this like 10 times now.
There's the teething problem right there.
I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off because I've retaken this.
Wow, that's embarrassing. Let's see if I can find the full video of that. So what is it? Sumner Stroh.
Yeah. Summer Stroh. Na 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 na. Summer Stroh.
It's a good job people don't come for the for the proper done videos.
I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off because I've
Here we go.
retaken this like 10 times now. Essentially.
Okay, that's it. Is there a full screen option? No. So we'll do it from this. Here we go.
I was having an affair with a man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model. At the time, you know, I was young, I was naive, and...
Called it. Right from the get-go, right? At the time, I was young, I was naive. It wasn't my fault. I was influenced by the older man. And really? Here's what I... What was that, mate? Yeah.
So she immediately stated a position of innocence.
100%, mate. And if we look at the kind of piss poor attempts to distance yourself from the scenario, I was having an affair with a man.
Okay.
Like, how can you say you are having an affair with a man and then break a story about the very specific man that you're having an affair with?
Make it sound like you're attempting a cover-up or you're trying to play down the bigger facts when you clearly want those out there. It's drawing into it.
So what we know then at this stage is she's not coached. right? We know she's not coached, so all of this information is coming from her. So we have a little bit more of a concrete understanding as to her motivations and what's led her to do this.
I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated.
So immediately the name. Very coy, very coy. I mean, so subtle, so subtle.
If this isn't, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky, but in a different kind of role reversal scenario.
That could be a different Adam Levine, I'm assuming. It could be any old Adam Levine.
Yeah,
that's Adam Levine
that's verified. Right, that's verified. Oh dear.
It looks suspiciously like the Adam Levine. It happens.
This is why humans frustrate me. And like, look at the nature of emotional connection to a piece of content that you're talking about, right? What the deuce?
What the boonash?
My TV just went off.
Oh.
This is all manner of technical difficulties this evening.
Oh, something's happening.
Oh, yeah, oh, here we go. Oh, good Lord, Maddie's just ruined it all. No, seriously, though. So, my monitors here are set up as two TVs. That when Maddie uses the TV over there, it can sometimes mess with these. It can sometimes mess with these. So let's continue. God, like, should we just write this one off and start again? Right?
This has actually happened. How are you, mate?
Exactly.
How are you doing?
Yeah, whoa! 100th episode, yay! Anyway, moving on. So, if you look at emotional connection to a piece of content, when you are talking about, look at us then, right? We just had an experience that both of us considered amusing, funny, ridiculous, and it registered. Registered. Again, look at the work of Lisa Feldman Barrett. She'll tell you in much more glorious technical detail about it than I will right here. But when you feel something, it is shown, it is communicated.
Yeah.
Whether that be that you feel nothing about the scenario or not is the same outcome. If you feel nothing, it will be shown. In that way, it will be shown. So, what we know about her in this scenario is there's no registry of connection to the content, right? In terms of her saying, yeah, I was manipulated, yeah, I was young, I'd like a Diet Coke and a medium fries and a number 30. I mean, it could be the same thing. It could be the same thing. Exactly. So, that's either one of a small handful of things, because there is the opportunity for a model, and it does go on, for Botox, well, Botox and other kind of botulinum-based reasons for your face not moving in the way that it should during expression. But that doesn't excuse why her voice is not engaged. I was manipulated. I was young. I wasn't on the scene as much as I was back then. You go down there and you take a left, and after this left you go over the roundabout and you go straight on, and you'll hit the fish and chip shop on the other side. Again, could be the same thing. There's no connection there. So again, one of a couple of things. Either she is a person for whom low emotional engagement is the norm. She doesn't express it in the same kind of animated way that you or I do. She might be very low-key, which is fine. Doesn't take away from the authenticity there, but we would have to watch a few more TikToks to have an understanding of that, which I'm not prepared to do.
What?
No.
This is your job.
Unless somebody pays me. This is for free. Right? Unless somebody pays me, then I will do it, you know.
People, this is basically the trailer for it.
Exactly. So let's watch some more.
Maroon 5 is practically elevator music at this point, so
Maroon 5 is practically elevator music at this stage, and yet she can't say Adam Levine.
Yeah. Wow.
Guilt.
I feel like any second now she's going to blink and his name is going to be tattooed on her eyelid. Adam Levine.
Like that scene from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is.
So let's have a look at that. It is truly unreal how fucking hot you are. Like, it blows my mind. That may actually be, and I'm sure the women listening will be able to confirm or deny this, that may actually be the worst chat-up line I've ever heard.
From Adam Levine.
Yeah, you are 50 times hotter in person, and so am I.
There's self-love, and then there's Adam Levine.
The egocentricity displayed from both of these people, granted one in the written form and one in the visual form, is mind-blowing at this particular stage. It's mind-blowing. But trying to pass it off in that kind of self-deprecating way of putting the emojis after the fact. Oh no, Miss Riffraff's had way worse lines than that, so you are going to have to add one of those into the comments right now. That's going to have to happen. We will sit. We will wait. There will be silence until she's typed it. No, that's not true. We will. What was that, mate?
Have to out Levine.
That could be a YouTube series in and of itself. So again, we've got a insight into the manipulation tactics that are going on via message and the like. I mean, I think the same. Seeing you in person, I was like, I'm fucked.
Okay.
As an English colloquialism, that's so much worse, because that could mean anything from you're about to die to you're tired, right?
I would love that to be the context of that. The person I was like, I'm tired.
I'm fucked.
I'm tired of you, Levine.
I'm fucked. But that makes it sound like Adam Levine could also be a serial killer. Seeing you in person, I was like, I'm fucked.
Shit. Oh, I've been Levined.
I've been absolutely Levined. That'd be the spin-off to the Scream franchise. It'll be Stab, Levine.
The Levine Files.
We better be careful in case he ends up watching. We're going to be done for libel.
Let's just say, hey,
yeah, he's not going to be watching. It's fine. He's got better things to be doing, like other people other than his wife. Anyway.
Oh, he went there.
Oh, so Miss Riffraff is, I believe she possibly typing. We've got as an opener, so some ellipses to follow. Anyway, here it is. So let's have another.
But Adam and I were seeing each other for about a year.
She said his name.
Oopsie daisies.
She said his name, Adam and I. So there is a personal connection there.
She is acknowledging me at long last.
Turns out that you're Adam Levine this whole time, and this mask comes up, Mission Impossible style.
Ripped off his mask, and it's me again. I was Adam Levine playing me
over a period of months. This is how he came back into my life.
So I don't think it'll let me type it. It might be too rude, Miss Riffraff says. So now you're being the tease in this scenario. You're being the tease. You have to try. And
replace different words with other words like turnip and orange and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Why did you go to turnip and orange first? Wow. Anyway, right? There are two massively concerning things about this. So she was saying that after she stopped speaking to him for a period of months, this is how he came back into her life. Okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious. Which is point number one about the. Shall I WhatsApp you a screenshot? Yes, please do. Please do send me that.
I'm going to throw it up.
Yeah, and I'll read it out.
Background for the next podcast.
Yeah, and the other concerning part of this is that someone's parents have chosen to name their children Balin.
Oh dear.
That's concerning.
It sounds like a troll from Lord of the Rings.
No, but seriously, right? Here we go. So, follow the chain of reasoning, follow the context in this scenario. If we are accepting that as truth at the moment, and one way or the other at this stage, if we are accepting that as truth, somebody's been with somebody else for a year, they've been together, behind their wife's back, blah, 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 it separates, months of non-contact and the like, to come back and say, oh, by the way, I'm having another baby. Might be with my wife, might be with someone else, but I'm having another baby, and I'd like to name it after you. Dead serious. You okay with that? Think about the motivations for that kind of a question. How disenfranchised with reality do you have to be in that scenario?
Yeah.
How disconnected to the way that the humdrum of society is run do you have to be to ask somebody a question like that? You know, I've been having an affair with you. Can I name the baby that I'm having with whoever it is, presumably the wife in this scenario, after you, as a way to remember you, as a way to memorialize you, as a way to immortalize you, or as a way to just make sure that I can have another conversation with you about it?
Yeah, definitely.
None of those scenarios are good.
No, definitely not. It feels almost like a kind of Army Hammer kind of conversation going on here. The strange stuff that he was coming out with. Again, that is a very absurd sort of thing to say to someone in regards to, like, you know, the situation of an affair in itself ain't great. Followed by something like that is just wow. Like, do you want people to find out? Like, you might as well call it the affair. Have the child called Affair.
Yeah, affair to remember. So, Miss Riffraff has just sent me the line.
How bad is it?
So I will play the part of the guy as an opener. I will read this as it's written. Hey, wow, you are gorgeous. You have got the most beautiful eyes. What are you up to? Ever pegged a guy before? Or what about fisting a guy? Would you say you're open mind? And that's Y-O-U-R, no apostrophe R-E, which is a red flag. Would you say you're open-minded enough to give it a go? ... I'd love to try your fist.
Well, that was a roller coaster. It started out so charming. God bless the fella. You've got lovely eyes. What a gentleman. You know, it's such a nice fella. Do you mind a bit of pegging? Ooh.
But
Why? I would love to try your welcome to Pandora.
Mate, this speaks to the most British kind of sarcasm of ever, and Miss Riffraff, I applaud you roundly for it. Right, so this is on some kind of app. It's like one of those conversations where your profile pic is next to your what you're saying and this kind of thing, right? So this guy's profile pic is a car, right? It is a car. So she's replied with, "Sorry, I don't date cars." he's put, lol, I have pics. She's put, I'm just not into cars. I date humans.
Oh, poor Optimus Prime.
But speaking of Optimus, he's very optimistic. Finishes with, well, you still haven't said whether you would do any of those things I've asked you, so all this may just be a waste of time anyway.
I love how he's turning it around to, his time's now being wasted. Like, God, this is
Brilliant.
ruined my night.
That is brilliant.
Not specified whether or not she's going to agree to my offering of those.
that was worth the wait. That was worth the wait. That was worth it. Anyway, let's continue.
He said, okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious. I was like, I'm in hell. Like, I have to be in hell at this point. I mean...
Yes, poor you. You're in hell. But at least we know from that interaction that she is capable of emotional connection to a piece of content that she's talking about. The stuttering, the eyebrow registry, the separating of the lips, the holding of the breath, all leaks of connection to a piece of content, right? Visually reflected on her face with the disconnected focus. It's all there, so we know as that exists. When she's talking about this before, where there is a disconnection, she doesn't feel as passionately about, as authentically about.
Yeah. You couldn't have stopped that in a more perfect place as well, mate.
Yeah, she looks like she's just like kind of licked her battery.
How's that left?
Sorry, Sumner. Craig says of the chat up line, I did not have that anywhere on the radar of options. Bloody hell.
Yeah. I imagine her facial expression matches that of the guy who texts Admiral Riffraff.
But like, speaking of a disconnection to reality, you just don't want to come out. You want to slip that kind of thing in there, not a fist, obviously. You want to bring that kind of content up, because if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, right? That's fair enough. But as an opening line,
yeah, wow. I mean,
wow.
You should do the Star Wars open crawls.
Yeah.
I'd love to see his take on that.
Yeah.
And you hope the pegging will commence.
Here we go.
Or unknowingly compromised. I was completely manipulated. I wanted to handle this privately. I never wanted to come forward because obviously I know the implications that come with doing what I do, making money.
I never wanted to come forward, so why are you?
You would gain you wouldn't gain anything less if you didn't come forward.
Exactly. I mean, think of that there. She said, I didn't want to come forward because I know the implications. She started to talk about making money, so I would induce at this stage that she's going to go and talk about the kind of the kind of social reflection of a model being online, and there's all of these immediate assumptions about somebody, blah blah blah, disingenuous, inauthentic, doing it to kind of facilitate growth of her own career, all of this kind of stuff. I mean, that's what would make sense if we're following the chain of reasoning. But based on that, if you are aware of it, the very fact that you are doing it for no other discernible outcome at this stage other than to do it, speaks to a motivation of self-interest.
Precisely, mate.
Right?
Yeah.
The way I do and being an Instagram model. So being tied to a story like this, it's like, I know the stereotypes. I had sent some screenshots recklessly to a few friends I thought I trusted, and one of them had attempted to sell to a tabloid. So here I am. I'm just gonna
sent to a few friends. I mean, if you're sending pictures that are tabloid worthy, then I don't think trust has got anything to do with it, has it? Really, you just
what that is. That's Amber Heard. Excuse me. That's AH and the TMZ leak all over again.
Yeah,
that's what that is. I'll send you this. Don't send it to anybody. What?
They won't do anything with this.
Yeah, that's like when a magician might say, I want you to think of a number between 1 and 5. But like just to do that blatantly is a form of influence. Yeah. That's the same thing. Oh, I'm going to send you this. Please don't send it to anyone. Please don't think of a pink elephant. You know, we could get into the of the deeper psychological practices of that, you know, but they are not but a Google away for you to be able to find that. So that was terrible. That was the most disingenuous, self-serving apology I've seen in quite some time.
Oh God!
So let's have a look at his rebuttal. I caught the first few. Yeah, I caught the first few lines of this when I loaded it up, but it was one of those load. Yeah, just make sure I didn't get ahead of the game. So I saw first few of it. Here we go. A lot is being said about me right now, and I want to clear the air. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner.
That's a strange sentence. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone. Basically, I did a wrong thing, but I did the wrong thing, and I still did the wrong thing. But I did not have an affair.
Yeah.
Regardless of the wrong thing that I did.
Yeah. Forced to apologise from a place of egocentricity. It's the same thing. But what connects the two as well, if you look at the profile pics, this was taken from his account. If you look at the messages that she received on the other thing, it's the same pic. Yeah, it's the same pic as well. But that's not to say that other people can't have the same pic, and fan accounts, they pop up all the time. But that's just something for us to think about in terms of the legitimacy of the process. Yeah. But yeah, this is basically celebrities come out and said, there's people talking a lot of shit about me right now, and I need to make sure that goes away as quickly as possible because I've got a new single coming out. Yeah. I don't think I did anything wrong. Yeah. I'm not to blame. The PR machine are keeping me and my wife together. The end.
I just love as you say it like that. He's basically taking no blame and pasting the word poor judgment upon it, like it's kind of like, oh, you know, poor judgment isn't something that falls on him. It's something that happened, and I accidentally used poor judgment. You don't use I used poor judgment. That happened. No, you made a decision. You made a decision. You made a decision.
There's extenuating circumstances to poor judgment, right? Yeah. If I ask for, you know, an old-fashioned cocktail, but I ask it for famous grouse instead of monkey shoulder, that's poor judgment. That's poor judgment.
I think going onto a computer, going on a file you don't really understand and getting a really bad virus, that's poor judgment.
That's poor judgment.
Purposely downloading a virus to your computer, that is poor judgment.
Exactly.
Poor judgment, sorry. That is not poor judgment. That's just using poor judgment.
Mm-hmm. I did not have an affair. At least the language there is quite declarative. But I can't help but feel, and I'm basing this on nothing other than a gut feeling. Make of that what you will, right? Because they do occur, regardless of your background. But I can't help but feel that these types of apologies, when they come out in the kind of written form that you post to a story, is a scapegoat, is a cop-out, because you know you're going to be in the public domain, and you know you're going to be scrutinised until the cows come home. If you know you're being disingenuous and inauthentic, that is something that's going to be leaked right the way through. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate. Only in certain instances?
Immediately, it was inappropriate from the
Yeah.
get-go. It just, you've gone in there with an inappropriate mindset. You've gone in there with an incentive to do something inappropriate. The whole thing from start to finish is inappropriate. It didn't become inappropriate. That's like talking to your granny on the phone and being like, "Oh yeah, and how's Uncle such and such? And are you doing okay? Have you got that leg mended? Yeah, I've got a bit of a boner right now." Oh, that became inappropriate.
That became inappropriate. I'm ever so sorry, Nan.
Just became inappropriate.
This is somebody. This is the classic element of why would I cheat when I've got you at home.
Yeah.
That's the classic. Now, I don't doubt that there are those that have been accused of cheating with that singularly authentic excuse, because it would never be a consideration. It would never be a consideration. And that those words might come out. But when you look at the lengths that this person has gone to in order to try and talk their way out of the proof that's on the other side, this becomes that kind of cliched element, like it's not you, it's me. My wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again. I take full responsibility. We will get through it, and we will get through it together.
I love how he says it. I will take full, and then goes straight to we. We will deal with this because I take full responsibility.
Thank you.
We. It's a problem for all of us, not just me. We can come together. Unbelievable, Levine, dickhead. What are you doing?
Right. What are you doing? What are you doing? And like, have you seen his wife? His wife is stunning.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand where that decision came. If you're going to go and do something like that, at least sort of like claim the fact that you solely take responsibility for it, and there was nothing on anybody else's part other than what you. Because something I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship and their marriage.
No.
Yes, stated that. I'm only going from what is being shown here, and it sounds like he's been having a bit of fun on the side, kind of thing. And like you say, from what you've seen of his wife and stuff like that, you're like, my God, what possessed you? And this kind of behavior, it just at the moment, it seems to just solely fall on him.
Exactly.
So I don't understand why he's then making it sound like, we will get through this together. It sounds like there's issue on both parts.
It's either that, or he's specifically trying to bring his wife in as a form of emotional blackmail.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. We can fight through this. We're on the same team. We're this. Right? But like me and Maddie had a brief kind of chat about this before the stream went out. Like, with mentioning, why would you do that? Like, for somebody that's going to cheat, they're going to cheat.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's at home. If that's what's in their heart, that's what's in their. I say heart. I essentially mean a disease-riddled tin can.
I think even though he's putting there, "I will never make it again," that immediately screams to me, "I'm going to do this again. This is going to reoccur. I'm going to end up back on the podcast."
Yeah, we'll be Levining up to the cows come home. But it's like, if you were going to be truly accepting of your blame, it'd be words to the effect of, "I made the biggest mistake. I risked all of this, and I will continually work to make sure that my family know that that I'm sorry, or I will continue to earn forgiveness, or I will continue to try and do this. I will try and do this," showing that you're in the wrong. Right, so to immediately shift your position from the I to the we, that's a very singular point, mate.
That to yourself, like the Levine train, and everyone needs to get on board because we're all going to the same station. Don't start preaching. Don't start sort of turning this into a positivity boost. Yeah. You're going to have to get through it and hope that she forgives you.
Exactly.
It falls on the person that's done the crime. I say the crime. It is a crime, really.
It is. It is. It's like a social crime.
Yeah.
If you want to, I don't know. I was trying to legitimize it with words. It's a crime. You know, it's a crime. You don't do that. It's just that doesn't happen.
You don't do a crime and then tell the judge, "Don't worry, judge. Me and you.
Yeah, we'll get through it.
We're going to work through this murder I did together."
It's a positional influence thing. Like when I was reading a few books and talking to a few friends about this, one of the guys shared a line that they use to curry favour in others. You know, like if a mechanic comes back with a big bill, or you know, food's taking too long in a restaurant, this kind of thing, you might say something along the lines of, "Well, that's not what I was quoted earlier. So what are we going to do about this?" Now we're in this. It's not that I've got the problem in the money. We're in this together. And this is the same thing.
Yeah,
this is the same thing. If you fucked up, there is no we. Done.
And if you're going to put in that sentence, "I take responsibility," then take the fucking responsibility, for God's sake. Don't contradict.
Exactly.
For God's sake.
Exactly. So, guys, with that in mind, we're going to draw this to a close. I think I would agree. I would agree with the kind of premise that those were the worst apologies that I've ever seen. That's almost tantamount to my son's apology for not cleaning his room. It's the worst apology. The worst. So, just to kind of reboot the information that we had towards the start. This Wednesday coming, 7:30ish British Standard Time, the 100th episode special of the Deductionist podcast, where we will be verbally abusing Craig the whole time. The whole time.
For the whole thing, we'll be blaming him.
Yeah, the whole time. He's going to be under the stairs, so that Adam can now live in his house. That's the way it's going to work.
Yeah, it's got to be. Way.
Wait, what? Again? Right, guys, we're going to love you and leave you. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.